stuff, we always go into detail about, the details about, pickup and how to do this and that and these kind of techniques. But today we're going to try something new and talk about almost like life stuff, if that makes sense.
Life stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean, yeah.
What we're talking about is creativity, how to be creative. And you might be thinking, okay, what does this have to do with pickup? A lot of it doesn't have to do with pickup, but if you look at it, under a microscope, it does.
I like what you said. I like what you said earlier to me.
What?
You were like, everything has to do with everything.
Yeah, yeah. Everything you learn has to do with everything. That's really what I've learned in life. And creativity is kind of, it's something that some people are born with, but it can be learned. It can be acquired too. You can be a more creative person if you follow these certain steps that we're about to go over. Because really, I wasn't the most creative person in the world. You see kids in like first grade, second grade, and they're drawing like these comic books and stuff, and they're making like these cool art designs. And for me, that's creativity.
I feel like that's like the cliche, stereotypical creativity. Like if you can draw well, and you can do things like in a drawing sense, but the creativity is much more than just artistic.
Yeah,
ability.
but I mean, even like class projects, we did this thing on natural disasters one time, and you kind of have to like build your own diagram or build your own thing that looks like a natural disaster. Or there was one where you have to write a story, like write your own story.
You had to create something that would hold an egg in place. You had to drop it from the second story.
Yeah,
it's
we
like
had
a
that too.
creative way of
So there's all these things that I think all of us were never really that creative in those types of senses. But now I think we can safely say that we're pretty creative when it comes to different things.
It's because we constantly try to be creative. It's not like we're just sitting there and it just hits us. It's like we sit down and consciously think of ways to be creative. And I wish... why are you laughing?
Nothing. I was just thinking about something else.
What are you thinking about? No, everyone has to know now. What are you thinking about?
No, I think we were supposed to do another topic.
I know we were.
We were.
Yeah. I was not even ready for this shit at all.
No, we were supposed to do another topic, and then I started talking about creativity.
No, do you know why?
Because I just wanted to be creative. That's why.
Jason and I were talking about this right before we started.
Yeah, and then it got stuck in your head.
Got stuck in your head.
Okay, well, we might as well just continue now. This is a good topic. Where do we start?
So
let's talk about why it's important first.
Yeah.
Like why should you be creative? Some people might be thinking, I'm never going to draw or I'm never going to do this. But really, being creative doesn't just mean like that cliche being creative. It kind of applies to everything in your life. So let's take pickup, for example. There's two ways you can be creative that I can think of off the top of my head. One is creative, like verbally. There's a lot of people that are really witty. They think of jokes on the spot. How do they do that? Because they're creative. They've opened their mind to this type of thinking, so that when they're talking to girls, they can access that creative part of their brain and be really funny and be really witty and make them laugh.
And that's why in our Project Go videos, every single week we give you like a new angle to approach things, because it's like if you fall into this routine of picking up girls, you're shutting down the creative part of your brain. And if you're constantly like creatively thinking of ways to talk to a girl, to get her to stop, to get her number, whatever, go on a date, that will stimulate the creative part of your mind. That's why we're so against having routines and set lines memorized, because you're no longer activating that part of your brain. And being creative is very attractive to women. Women like guys who think outside the box, who are creative.
Yeah, so that was the second way to be creative. If you are a creative person in your life, that is a very attractive quality. There's nothing more attractive, at least when I talk about my life to girls, than saying I get to think up ways to make viral videos on YouTube.
Like that's. So just so I understand, you were saying the first way to be creative when approaching a girl is how witty you are and your improvisational skills, and the second one was how you approach them and how you convince them to come home with you?
Like anything, like every single way of an interaction. Like there's a million little steps.
Well, no, that's actually kind of like a third way. But yeah, what I was talking about is being creative in your life. Being a creative person is an attractive quality. That's the second way. And then what you said was kind of a third way, like creative ways to, I guess, that's like a 1.5.
Like to woo them. Creative ways to woo
that's
them.
way 1.5.
But I feel like having creative ways to woo a girl is just like a byproduct of being a creative person in general. So if you're a creative person in general, you will come up with ways to woo a girl that's different than the norm.
Yeah, and it's really cool, especially for me. Even when I meet a girl that says, I do. I'm in architecture. That you see that building over in like whatever city. Yeah, I helped create that in terms of architecture. Or I'm a painter, or I am a musician. I write my own music. When I hear that, that's really, really attractive to me, because for some reason, just in my brain, I think that is really, really cool. She must be a cool girl. I don't care if she's not making any money off of it. Like if she's a starving musician, as long as she's doing something that makes her happy and that gives her that output, I find that attractive. And
So
I know girls do that too.
So there's some girls that I see on 3rd Street, or actually not on 3rd Street, on Venice. They take these strips of leaves, and then they create flowers out of them. Are you saying you're attracted to them?
So,
Hold on.
What Jason is saying is on Venice, you see these homeless looking women making these like makeshift flowers out of leaves. But see, the thing about those people is
that is creative.
That's creative.
That's creative,
but not in. There's like this universally accepted attractive creative where not only are you creative, but you figured out how to get it to click with like the masses. And I think, for me at least, I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself. If I can meet someone that figured out how to make it click and how to go beyond just like the initial creation phase and just be a creative person in every aspect, not just making little flowers in the street. Like, I like that person.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right. Yeah. So if I met a musician and, she was just a musician only and she didn't have any followers.
Like she played in the subway?
Yeah, she plays in the subway. I'll be like, okay, that's cool. That's I would say that's more attractive than the average girl, for sure. Yeah. So to answer your question, yes. So I do think those homeless girls are more attractive personality-wise than the average girl.
Okay,
not
good.
physically.
See,
because
personality-wise is...
Yeah, because they look homeless, obviously. I know looks don't matter, but you can't look like you're homeless. But
if we put out an episode like that,
I mean, it's different for guys, though. Guys just have they have penises. That's why. Girls have vaginas, so they're more willing to accept personality. But I mean, that's why you see a lot of girls who are if okay, let's say I find a girl who is a musician and she has a huge following on YouTube. Even if I don't like her music, I will find her really, really attractive, not because of her fame or she's popular or whatever, but because she found a way, as Jesse said, to get people to like her shit. She found a way to click with the masses.
And based on our own...
I want to explain how this is different than being popular, though, because I feel like it's starting to veer towards popularity. Like, if you have this skill and you're popular with a certain crowd, then that's attractive. But that's not necessarily the case. You know what I mean? Like, if they're creative, even if they don't have like a strong following, if they're creative people in general, then that's attractive.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
you don't need.
I would for sure any day take
here.
Like, let's say there's a girl, that's average-looking girl. I would take that, and she plays music. Okay, she writes her own music. She's struggling to be a famous musician, and she's right now she doesn't have a following. I would take that girl any day over hot bimbo who just parties every weekend.
I got the
any
difference.
day I would take that.
I can explain the difference. So the difference is ambition. So if you meet a girl, like if you meet someone on Venice who's on the floor making those little flowers, and you talk to her and she's like, my ambition is to like one day have these flowers in every single home, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Or whatever her ambition. It doesn't have to be that specific ambition, but whatever she does, like she has like this driving force inside her. If she has that, I will be more attracted to her. Like, period. So I think that's the difference between someone who's creative and just creatively lazy and creatively ambitious. I like creatively ambitious people because they not only are they attractive to me, but this is going to sound so lame, but you know what? Fuck it. But they like inspire me. Like, I see these people, I'm like, fuck, this person is doing X, Y, and Z. That is very inspiring. And I think that's a universally attractive trait, to meet people who are ambitious and creative.
Yeah.
So so basically what we're saying is when you're an ambitious person, people are attracted to you. Not just girls, but guys too. Like they want to be your friend because they see that you're a person who, when you're a creative person, when you're doing something creative with your life, it's almost like you don't give a shit. You know, and I think that's one of the reasons people like it too, because you're saying fuck you to society. I'm doing my own thing, and that. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons, but I think that's one of the reasons. And going back to why it's important. Even in work, finding creative ways to like improve the company you work for or kind of improve the culture you work for is very, very valuable too. Now we're getting into like the work aspect of why creativity is important. Let's say you work at, Starbucks, okay? When I worked at Starbucks...
Every time there's a work example, it's Starbucks.
Yeah. Okay, here, I'll give you another example.
Coffee bean.
I want to hear the Starbucks example.
I want to hear Starbucks too.
It was actually pretty bad now that I think about it, so thanks for saving me.
No, I got you. See, like, I think what you're going to say, just use this as an example.